Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Editor's Notes with me, Cy Williams. Okay, I was reading some very disturbing news today. News that put a lot of things in perspective for me. Can you imagine if I had to go to jail for what I did for a living? Now, the cannabis reform movement, as with any meaningful social movement, would have never been possible without people educating other people about cannabis. People like myself and my team with High Canada Magazine, and a number of others in Canada, the US, and Europe who have spent decades spreading information and education about cannabis out there in the world. Cannabis educators are vital because without them, there would be a vast knowledge void within the world. And that knowledge void would be filled with propagandist bullshit, would be filled entirely by cannabis opponents. And this is something that history has clearly demonstrated. For several decades, positive cannabis knowledge and information were suppressed by governments worldwide. Those that tried to spread the truth about cannabis and the facts and the information education were sometimes targeted. Unfortunately, that censorship continues to this day, including in countries that you may not expect. It's true. Now, Robert Veverka is a journalist and director of the Czech-based cannabis magazine Legalizace. Back in 2021, there was an article published about Robert saying that he was being targeted by the Czech government over his journalism, with the Czech government accusing him of inciting and promoting toxicomania. Legalizace is a bi-monthly periodical focused on cannabis, as well as drug policy relating to human rights and environmental issues. Here in Canada, I know in the United States, Canada where I live and work in High Canada Magazine and conduct similar efforts, I see what Veverka did well within the parameters of legal speech and expression. Legalizace clearly provides content that possesses significant scientific, political, and literary value. The prosecution, which is calculated, stigmatizing, borderline untruthful, and based on untrue conjectures and limited interpretation by the police, in the Czech police, that the cultivation and processing of cannabis is automatically illegal, or that any mention of cannabis automatically equates inciting toxicomania. This comprises a dangerous precedent comparable to totalitarian repression and censorship. Robert Veverka stated this back in 2021 regarding the initial indictment, that he considered it his duty to fight not only for the right of his magazine to exist, but also for the rights of all print and electronic media who have ever dared mention the word cannabis, or plan to do so in the immediate future. Now, Robert Veverka went on to say that at this time, or in 2021, that it was unfortunate that the Czech Republic proceeded with the indictment. And in November 2021, Veverka and his media outlet were found guilty of the allegations, and Veverka was given a 1-year prison sentence, contingent on a probationary period of 2.5 years, as well as a fine of $50,000 CZX Czech money in the district court of Bruntel following 2 court hearings. The judge said that he is not competent to assess the benefits of the current legalization of cannabis, or the benefits of cannabis products in healthcare, or even the negative effects of cannabis use. But the judge said he must base his verdict on existing legislation, which is binding for all in the Czech, if you're Czech. The judge also stated that according to his judgment, Legalizace magazine evidently and factually constituted the criminal offense of inciting and promoting toxicomania. Now, Veverka stated at the time of the 2021 verdict in a press release, and he said that he did not take into account the legislative provisions allowing for cannabis to be handled legally in certain cases, or the comprehensive and educational nature of the information published in his magazine. On the contrary, the judge expressed his doubts as to whether or not the individuals who granted interviews to the magazine were made aware of its content and overall message, right? Personally, I consider the verdict to be very biased and severely restrictive of the freedom of expression, the right to express political opinion, and the right to information. This is what Veverka also stated. Now, news broke this month that Veverka was sentenced by the Czech court for similar allegations, although it's still unclear to me from Canada if this is part of an appeal attempt to the previously cited changes, or if this is a separate additional matter altogether. Okay, either way, one thing that I know, and I do know this, is that Veverka is being subjected to horrific and unfair conditions. The global cannabis community needs to rally around Veverka. Veverka must reportedly pay an administrative offense of €4,000 as a defendant and a natural person, another €6,000 on behalf of his media outlet as part of the recent verdict. Now, for anyone out there in the international cannabis community that's able to support Robert Veverka and contribute to his defense, bank details will be in the description box below. If you are not able to contribute financially, here's what you can do. Help spread the word on your social media channels about his plight. Then support this guy and what he's been doing. Okay, it's sad that he is in jail and being fined for doing what I do here in Canada legally, what so many others are doing out there. Okay, that's it for me right now. Cy Williams, Hi Canada Magazine. I'll be talking to you soon.
1, 2, 3, 4.